Welcome to Muffin Talk.
Kia ora and welcome to Muffin Talk. This program is brought to you by the initiative Titipounamu, Study and Joy. My guest today is Bishop Michael Dooley. Bishop Michael Dooley is the Catholic Bishop of Dunedin. He is a member of the NZCBCIR, the Bishops' Committee for Interfaith Relations in New Zealand. Bishop Michael, welcome to Muffin Talk.
Good, kia ora. Thanks, Beata. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Bishop Michael, you have been on the member of this committee for a few years. Why do you think that this committee for interfaith relations is so important?
Well, with the New Zealand Catholic Bishops' Conference, there's 6 bishops, and we divide out, you could say, the different responsibilities. And I was happy to take on this responsibility of being on the Interfaith Committee, because within the Church we have a call to interfaith dialogue, and that's led by certainly by our popes and also from Vatican II, from Nostra Aetate, the teachings of Vatican II, and the desire that we have into interfaith dialogue. So it's an important part of our work as bishops, but because we can't do everything, everyone can't do everything. The value of the committee is that it's a group of people who are connected in with interfaith dialogue and can offer advice and help for us as bishops. So it's quite an important committee for support for us in our mission.
So you mentioned the committee and that there are representations from all across the country. So from each diocese there is a representation or somebody who is appointed by the bishop.
Yes. At the moment, it's spread out over the country, so it's a good spread from different parts of the country, which is important because each place has different interfaith dialogues going on within the community. So it's a good representation of what's going on in New Zealand overall.
And last week, the committee met for the annual in-person meeting. What was your highlight for the meeting?
I'd say the thing that stayed with me most afterwards was that in our second day we did a workshop, and yourself, Beate, and Professor Paul Morris led us in that workshop on I think sort of our attitudes to interfaith dialogue could be the theme of it. But I found it really interesting and inspiring, especially Paul Morris, and he comes from an Orthodox Jewish background, but has a great breadth of knowledge of interfaith dialogue and relationships. So it was fascinating to hear his reflections on interfaith dialogue at the moment, and that I went away and thought about that quite a bit. So it was a good spur for me to think more about it.
And we also realized that we are in such a diverse country here in New Zealand when it comes to religions. I think the 16th most diverse countries in the world, and which is another point why interfaith relations are important, because we are in a small country and have a big diversity.
Yes, that. I think that was one of the points that came out that I didn't realise. So it was fascinating how in New Zealand we do have a very diverse nation, and that gives an opportunity too for us to talk to one another and to learn from one another.
And also the other thing that was mentioned was that there are many cultures in one religion and many religions in one culture. So you can't talk about only cultures or only religions. Do you have that diversity in your diocese in Dunedin also? Do you have a big diversity of people within the Catholic Church?
We would have quite a diversity, ethnic diversity now, which has contributed an awful lot to our faith communities. So, and I can think of immigration, especially from the Philippines and India in particular. So we've had a lot of people coming in and supporting our faith communities with that. But in the wider community, there's more diversity in faiths as well. And I think probably specifically in Islam down here, there would be quite a growth in that. Yes, that's probably the main sort of change, but other representatives from other groups too, which we sort of try to stay in relationship and dialogue with.
And I think the other issue that was also raised was about how to promote interfaith relations among Catholics.
Yes, yes. And that's an important, very important thing. And it's a challenge because it's often to get across the importance of even thinking about it or looking more closely into it. So people get on with their lives, they have different things to do, and they probably don't think about the diversity around them. But it's to encourage, especially with Catholics, to encourage that and also to encourage them that the church is behind this and wants us to be in dialogue with our brothers and sisters in other faiths.
As you mentioned, Paul Morris, when he came, and we had just celebrated 60 years of Nostra Aetate in our times. And this is an extraordinary document from 60 years ago when the Catholic Church opened the windows and to invite people to get involved in interfaith relations and in ecumenism.
That's right. It's a very significant document, Nostra Aetate, and it was good to hear Paul's reflection on it, and that it did come under criticism from, let's say, the Jewish community, where there were criticisms, but he said, overall, it was a big step forward. And even in the recent celebrations, he made mention of Pope Leo's comments on it, which he felt were very, very useful and very helpful to the dialogue.
I think that we agree that we need to be one human family. I think this expression, one human family, was also mentioned by Pope Benedict several times, that he talked about one human family.
Yes, you're right. And recent popes, and I suppose in my own lifetime, I think particularly like Pope John Paul II, Pope Benedict, Pope Francis, and now Pope Leo, they've all emphasized the importance of that interfaith dialogue.
So where do we go from here? I understand that there will be a big national interfaith forum next year in Dunedin.
Yes, we're looking forward to that. It hasn't been one for quite a while, so that is something to look forward to. And the chairperson of our committee, Colin McLeod, he's quite instrumental in organising that, and so that will be quite exciting to have that event next year.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Bishop Michael, and thank you for coming to this interview and give a little bit of feedback on the workshops and the events on the weekend with the New Zealand Catholic Bishops' Committee for Interfaith Relations, and which is such a long name, and NZCBCIR doesn't mean so much for many people. So sometimes, to make it short, I say that's the Interfaith Committee that is supporting the Bishops' Conference in New Zealand.
Yeah, it is quite a name, but it's that explains it. So look, thanks, Beate. Thanks.
Thank you.
Out there, heroic peace is calling. In the bonds of love we meet. For the world, a new day dawning and shine.